Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 23 of What If Naruto Universe Had Quirks. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, so sit back, relax, and yeah, I do hope that you guys enjoy. And don't forget, if you're new, yes I indeed have 4 channels, which I post What If on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So, sit back, relax, place your feet up, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. All the links for the other channels will be down in the description, so yeah. Let's jump right into this, guys. Begin now. So, the last part that we left off, Nagato found out that his daughter had a connection with Naruto, and she was now severely depressed and sad because he was dead. He himself did not fully blame her because, for one, she did not know that the Akatsuki was against Naruto going after him. And also, he remembered when he was younger and how it felt to be with someone, care for someone, to like someone. We then dive a bit into his past. The Hidden Rain was worse than a lot of village out there. The quirkless people were used as cannon fodder. They were basically nothing in the eyes of the village society. And he was born without a quirk. His parents, who were born with quirk, they tried to hide the fact. They tried to protect him, but it wasn't good enough. The day that he was going to be taken, his parents tried to fight to make him stay. However, things didn't turn out as they thought, and they lost their life that day. That was the day that he awakened the Rinnegan, when he lost himself to rage and released that amount of power that destroyed everything. The Rinnegan was a very powerful tool, immensely so, power beyond comprehension. It just didn't have quirks, but the things that he could do was truly magnificent. After that, he was going to end it all. However, he was saved by a girl named Konan. She and her brother Yaiko, they stuck together, protecting one another. They decided to change everything about the Hidden Rain. So they got people with or people without quirks, the orphans. They got them as they grew strong together until the tragedy with Hanzo, where he betrayed them, where he attacked them ruthlessly, trying to take them down. Things went chaotic after that as Yaiko lost his life. No more Mr. Nice Guy after that. It was pure destruction and chaos. Pure calamity within the village. He slaughtered all of Hanzo's followers and took the reins as a leader there. The battle was epic as they clashed and destroyed several areas as they fought. With the battle finished, he became the leader of the village as he now had a goal, a plan that he seemed to want to bring to fruition. He also met the man that was claiming to be Madara, who had helped him with the creation of the organization, the Akatsuki, to make it grow to exponential levels. The organization was already a thing, but with his help, they grew it to a great level. And now, the man was still partnered with him today. However, the full trust was never there. Yes, neither of them fully trust one another, and it could be seen on several occasions. However, his daughter was in a depressed state right now, and she was under the clear mind that Naruto was dead. As news broke not too long after that he was killed. No one knew where the source came from, but it was hitting several people hard. Kushina was just happy that she was able to protect her new daughter and her family, because Naruto seeked to destroy that. Minato was confused and did not fully believe this. Kumo was not fully believing anything either after all. They believed that he was doing this to gain the upper hand by surprising them. Menma was empty. He was angry and empty because he wanted to be the one to defeat him, but now he didn't seem to have a goal, a purpose, or anything to continue on. Mito was just happy that they were not going to be targeted anymore, given what he was doing. While that was going on, Naruto was restrained and locked away in the hidden stone as Kurosaki took out her frustration and rage as she's pent up for the past couple of years on him. She wasn't allowed to kill him though, as Oniki had his top doctors doing research on the boy. It turns out the more that she wailed on him, the stronger his body became, and that severely pissed her off. However, unknown to them, the moment Naruto was trapped in here, he was allowing himself to remain here. Maybe it was because he felt sorry for what he made Misaka felt. He's never felt emotions like this for anyone for a very long while. As he realized that he hurt her, and all she wanted was to make sure that he was okay. He felt the tears. He felt the sadness, the rage, the emptiness that she could not do anything when he was about to die. That was how he felt when he lost his two greatest friends. And now he felt pity for how he treated her the entire time. Another thing was, his body was turning different. No longer was he a human anymore. He was changing, yes. He was going through changes. He was turned into something far greater, far stronger. As he then released all that energy, exploding the entire place. Oniki had control over Earth, as his quirk was severely powerful. However, the battle that commenced between them was destructive. Naruto had a seed that he had planted the moment he set free. Said seed was gathering energy, as it was a replica of himself, more like a tree. However, the power was sinking into the core of the village. Kurosaki and everyone watched as Naruto demolish and absorb the tail pieces. Now they were starting to panic as his power was growing even more. However, he did not kill her as he said that he would. He promised that he would make her suffer a worse fate as he killed her grandfather, and then he destroyed the entire village, uprooting it. As he left her a broken mess, leaving the village in pure utter chaos. As he floated away, his body was containing too much energy and it needed to be released. He ended up causing a devastating, apocalyptic destruction when he released all that power. As Naruto was fuming as steam was leaving his body, he was only getting stronger and stronger. So yeah guys, basically that's where I left off. You guys can switch across the playlist of yourself. And also don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Yes, I need a 4 of them which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now guys. The entire elemental nation was in chaos. Yes, fear was striking through almost everyone. Despite having a Jinchuriki or not, they were afraid. The nations were scared. Over the past few days, 2 incidents shook everyone. Right now, there was a meeting being called at the Land of Iron with the remaining powers of the elemental nation to team up together and strike down their common foe. Yes, they had to. They had to pull their strength together. When news reached everyone about the destruction of the Hidden Stone, many believed that this was a good opportunity for them to expand their territory. However, the peril soon came after that, as they realized, given what has happened so far, this maniac who was said to be dead has collected several tail pieces. Mei Terumi had been able to see the aftermath of what happened. There was no doubt in her mind that he somehow absorbed the tail pieces. That meant he had all that power. If he was so strong already, going around causing chaos, what will happen when he gather all the 9 beasts? It would be 10 times worse. All of the villages send their ninjas to see the aftermath of the hidden stone. The village might be in ruins, but majority of their ninjas had survived the chaos. The village was scrapped though, and they were even starting to rebuild as quickly as possible their earth nature, making that, well, leaning towards their side, but still, everything was gone. They had to start over. They had to try and take down that colossal tree that he had rooted up right in the center of the village. That took them a very, very long while, as it was so dense and so powerful. The branches itself took a hard time to cut. The village was in shambles. The remaining council that survived take the grand power to bring the ninjas together. Word was sent to all of the nations to come together. This was sent by Mifune, the leader of the samurais. They need to join forces, otherwise this will be the death of them all. They had no doubt, well, he had no doubt that this boy, who is already seeking chaos, will no doubt turn all that power against them once he reach the peak, as it further incentivized what he was saying when Taki was attacked. Taki tried to put up a fight, however, their forces were decimated. Half of the population was killed. In a few minutes, the Jinjuliki was taken, the village was left in shambles, broken and battered. Yes, the world was currently in panic. They were afraid, and they needed to make a big move. Otherwise, they were all screwed. The news was affecting everyone in different ways. At Konoha, Menma Namikaze was completely serious, his face devoid of any joyful emotion. There was a lot stirring up in his heart. With the recent information coming out, he had felt lost at first, believing that he no longer had a purpose because his purpose was to kill Naruto. But now he was back, and he can finally strike him down. He's been pushing himself, evolving and advancing his quirk, learning other techniques so he would not be helpless just in case. Yes, he's been doing a lot to make sure that he was ready for the upcoming battle, because there was no doubt in his mind that this was going to be one of the most fearsome battles ever. In his mind though, he had beliefs that he could actually defeat Naruto, yes. He was under the beliefs that he could actually win this match, that he would come out on top somehow, and that would not leave his mind. Yes, he would win. As for Mito, once again, the fear was gripping her heart. Since the news came out, she had several terrible nightmares. She remembered that day, all those years ago, when they were in the forest, during the sports festival. That look in his eyes, there was no doubt he was coming for them. Kushina was being paranoid. Well, it wasn't too surprising given what has happened and what Naruto claimed that he was gonna do. It was currently nighttime within the village. Her daughter was peacefully sleeping. She's been having panic attacks, several, even in one day. Seeing images or seeing Naruto popping up out of nowhere. He was not there, but her mind was playing tricks on her. Minato had tried his best to soothe his family. As for him, he was locked away in his secret office. Danzo Shamura, a man that was normally calculated, was now even afraid. He, unlike many, knew the truth of what happened on that island when Minato sent those kids. Those kids could destroy a great village by themselves, using their combined quirks. The poison, the gravity manipulation, the shockwave from the lightning user. Yes, their power was absolute, and yet they were all eradicated by one person. It just goes how to show how much power that one boy contained. To how they were gonna stop him, well, they had no heavenly idea. Well, Minato had an idea, but Danzo was against that. There was one person that could probably fight and stop Naruto right now. His name was simply X. However, he was in stasis. X had a rather nasty personality, even towards his, well, the word could be creator, but they did not create him. They just advanced him. But X was all kind of wrong. The last time he got out of hand and it took several of them to stop him. The children, that is. And they were strong. Yes, X had a very nasty, powerful quirk. Minato was sitting at a desk, as his mind was racking with so much information. He took a pill as he drank down some water. The headaches slowly dissipating after a while. His brain was always focusing, always moving. For a man that was known for his speed, he seemed to be moving slower and slower every day. The meeting would be commencing at the village very soon. The Land of Iron. He would be attending, as he knew that many of the blames would be placed on him because of Naruto being his son, but that did not matter. Minato did not want to reveal X to the world because X might turn against him, so he was going to use the other nations, and he knew the perfect way to play it. Yes, he did. While all of that was going on, at the Hidden Rain, Misaka sat down with her father. With the recent information leaking, it had affected many of them in different ways. She was shocked, and it also brought her out of the state of depression that it placed her in. It just goes out to show the connection that she shared with the boy, that always seemed to be angry all the time. But she knew deep down that he cared for her as well, and he was alive. It brought so much tears to her eyes when she heard that he was alive. Despite the things that he's done, she still cared for him. He's not targeted their village, and she knew that their parents and the organization known as the Akatsuki was going to bring great chaos before the peace. However, she was worried about Naruto's mental health. He was just one person. So far, she has not been able to contact him, just like how she used to do it with the dreams. There has been none of that. However, her father was insistent on finding out everything, and doing so, he told her about Naruto and the Akatsuki and the minglings. She was shocked. She never knew, as she was now worried, wondering what the Akatsuki would do to Naruto, or what he would do to them, if the chance might pop up in the future where he will have to fight her family. Seeing that her parents run the organization, she couldn't allow it. She wouldn't allow it. She would do everything within her power to stop it. Yes, she would. So she told her father everything, just to make sure that he would listen her out before doing anything rash. As she did not know the future, so it's time to come clean. Nagato sat there as he took in everything that his daughter told him. He never knew that their connection ran so deep. He figured that the moment she first entered his mind, that was a side effect of his core connecting to hers. His daughter was special. It must be because of the Rinnegan she was born with several quirks, some of them similar to him and some of them that not even he possessed. She has been keeping them under wraps, as he did not want the world to draw too much attention to her. After all, ninjas from the rain did go on several missions and she had rise through the ranks, and she's been leading several teams now. However, she did use them just in case. When she was younger, she could not control them, but now she was a lot better and a lot stronger. She had multiple quirks. However, he was still surprised how long this little relationship was going on for. Not even Konan knew about this. He will have to tell her everything about this, but he believed that she already knew that their connection was deeper then. He was cut off from his thoughts when an explosion rang through the village. Immediately he rose to his feet. So did she. "What's going on?" she said, rushing towards the highest window, as she looked out to see fire blazing in the sky. That was that sound. Meanwhile, in the middle of the village, as the rain seemed to have been halted, a boy was on his knees. Surrounding him was several confused range shinobis. This made no sense. A few minutes ago, the village gates were being guarded when someone appeared. To their point of view, he simply appeared. Weapons were quickly drawn. He said nothing. He leaped and landed right in the center of them. His hand came down towards the ground in a pulse, blew them all away. He then raised his right hand in the sky and a massive ball of fire erupted, causing great chaos and alerting in the village. They all pointed their weapons towards him, Quirks being ready until he did the unexpected. He dropped to his knees and placed his hands on his head, surrendering to them. They were confused, heavily so, as they did not quite understand what is going on, as he just attacked and then surrendered. Immediately, Quirks' suppressing cuffs were drawn and they were placed on him. The leader stepped forward. Now let's see who you are underneath there. He removed the hood only to step back in utter shock. Sitting on his knees was none other than Naruto. He was different, even more than before. Those marks that was on his forehead were now a bit more elongated, almost like they were growing into horns. However, they matched the color of his hair, so it seems like it was just his hair sticking out. His palm now had 6 megatama in it, showing the 6 tailed beasts that he has gathered. His eyes was still the same though. The leader had stepped back in shock, almost tripping over himself when he saw who it was. As Naruto looked at the man, "What are you waiting for? Lock me up," he said. The men were confused, all of them, not expecting this one bit, but he should be placed in prison for what he just did. Until further notice, he made no sign of attack or nothing at all. He just allowed it. Time skip. "Stay here," said Nagato. "But Dad, I said stay here." He did not like to yell at her, but she needed to listen. He knew that she was hoping to see him first, but that wouldn't be the case here. He needed to speak to the boy first. "Misaka." She turned as she looked towards her mother. "Your father is right. I know that you want to see him, but not just yet." She frowned, but she could understand what her parents were saying. But she was happy. He was here. He surrendered himself. A part of her hope prayed that he did so to talk to her. That must be the case, right? She thought to herself. While she was lost in her thoughts, Nagato proceeded towards the area. The guards, stepping aside, opening the door. On the inside, Naruto was sitting on a bed. A small little bed in the corner. His hands were cuffed with a Quirks suppressing cuff. His hair shadowing his eyes. He then glanced up towards the man, as their eyes met for the first time, without any illusion, as Naruto saw those eyes. Despite never seeing those eyes before, Naruto could tell that he met this man before. However, under an illusion, his body was so far from human anymore that he remembered correctly. A couple of years ago, the sports festival, you, under a disguise with another woman, was there, cheering on Mikasa. "I presume that you're her father," said Naruto, noting the red hair. Nagato looked down towards the boy, surprised that he would put that together so easily. His Rinnegan scanning over the boy, not seeing anything too abnormal. However, maybe his eyes could not see what was truly going on. And that would be a big surprise given the capability of the eyes that he had. So he finally decided to speak. "Why have you come here willingly?" he asks. "What do you seek? Is it destruction?" "No," said Naruto. "You're gonna have to try a bit harder to convince me about that. Given your recent activities around the elemental nation, it is not easy to believe what you are saying at the moment." "Yes, I can understand," said Naruto, "but I'm not here for anything such as destruction. Just to talk. Tell me, do you know the connection I share with your daughter?" "Yes, it is something that I have recently found out." "So it is her that you wish to talk to?" As Naruto looked down, I'm not a good person, he said. Far from it. I'm a horrible person, the things that I've done. He looked down toward his hands. These hands are stained in so much blood they can never be cleaned. However, incidents leading to me having this connection with her, she've tried her hardest to make me a better person, giving me the offer of even coming here. And throughout all of that, I have been nothing but horrible, throwing away every chance of redemption, every chance of happiness she tried to push my way, even when I was alone and suffering on the inside. She was the one that was there to actually be someone I could talk to, because in this world, I'm alone. And I've understand that I'm fine with that, but yet, she continued to push and push and push. And when she thought I was dying, I never thought that anyone else would care for me that much. So I'm just here to pay my respect and thank her for what she did. She deserved that much in person, said Naruto, as he figured that this might be the last time that she saw him. His dream was coming to fruition, and after that, well, as Naruto glanced up, Nagato was silent throughout all of that, as he just looked at the boy, trying to truly understand him, the person that he is. He knew what led him to become this person, but what is he now? Nagato thought. The boy had killed 2 of the Akatsuki members, which were needed for the organization and their goals. The problem was, majority of the tail beasts has been taken because of him. As Nagato used his Rinnegan to scan over the boy, strangely enough he could not find any residue of the tail beast chakra, which made no sense at all. What have you done with the tail beasts? He finally spoke up after a long quiet. That is not important, said Naruto. If you want anything to be done beyond this point, you're going to answer my question. Now tell me, what have you done with the tail beasts? Nagato asked, giving Naruto a hard look. As Naruto looked at the man rather calm. I took them, he said. They're with me now. So tell me, will you stand in my way or not? Nagato simply looked at him. You will definitely not know this, but you have caused my organization some tremendous problem, he said. Your organization, said Naruto. Yes, the Akatsuki. As Naruto paused for a brief second, that was something that he did not know. Yes, he knew the Akatsuki was rumored to be somewhere around this area. He should have realized that this man was a leader. He could feel the power coming off him, and it was a lot. And he wasn't surprised. However, Naruto lowered his head as Nagato noticed that. As Naruto went into deep thought, could it all be a lie? Could she have been using him the entire time to get the tail beasts? Was that it? As Naruto looked up, his eyes hardened. I see, he said, his insecurity about trust coming out at full force. So that was your game, huh? For your daughter to use me. So in the end you can get the tail beasts after I was finished with them. Nagato blinked, as that was nothing close to the truth. Before he could question anything though, the cuffs exploded off Naruto's hands. Of course those things could not hold him. I see I made a mistake coming here. Once again with the lies and the betrayal. As Naruto stepped forward only for Nagato to step in front of him. I'm afraid you're not gonna be leaving just yet, he said. Immediately, the ground under Naruto ruptured. An excessive amount of power started to erupt from his body. As powerful as you are, do you really think that you can stop me? Nagato took a further step forward, his own raw power springing out of his body. I said, you won't be leaving here just yet. Look into my eyes, said Naruto. Do you think that you can stop me, he asked. The whole building started to shake, as the very ground start to expand, tremors all throughout the village. Cracks start to appear on the wall. Suddenly, the two women rush towards them. "What are you two doing?" Masaka yelled at both of them, causing their power to subside. As they turned towards her, as Naruto had pure hate in his eyes, she was taken aback by that look. For the brief moment, Naruto stepped past Nagato and stepped towards her. "So that was it, huh?" he said. "All this talk of friendship, all this talk of helping me, was just a sick, twisted game." What are you talking about?" she said. "Your father is the leader of the organization known as the Akatsuki, who are also after the tail beasts. So do I have to spell it out for you? You used me to get them. Didn't you?" Naruto yelled. Whack! As Naruto was taken aback, he was firmly slapped across the face. That was not what he was expecting, as it took all the anger out of him for a moment. That is when he saw her face, mixed with sadness and anger. She clenched her fist tightly. How dare you?" she said. "I can understand with everyone else, but how dare you say that about me? After everything we've been through. After everything." The glare that she gave him, before she stormed off, running down the halls, as Konan quickly went after her. Naruto stepped back, until he was back on the bed as he sat down. Just sitting there. What's going on? Naruto thought to himself, as he felt a strange feeling in his heart. It was as he tried to fight it off, but this thing was creeping up. He shook his head, refusing to accept these strange feelings, but they would not go away. The anger in her eyes. How could he really think that? She never knew about any of it. Naruto glanced up, as Nagato looked down towards him. What? I said. She never knew about any of it. Nagato then walked out. As he closed the door behind him, he stepped out as the other guards closed the cell door. He knew that the boy would not try to leave. He saw that look in his eyes. He was just giving him time to cool down. In the initial thought, Nagato wanted the boy on his side. Maybe after a few hours, he will finally open up so they can talk. However, Nagato was unsure if he could take down this boy. Yes, he had more experience, but the raw, uncontained power inside of him seemed so godly overwhelming, even to his eyes. For just a fraction, he could tell that the power would have leveled this entire tower within seconds, and yet he was sure that was nowhere near the boy's peak. Just what is he truly capable of? He thought to himself. Time skip. How dare he? Out of everyone else, how dare he say that to her? She understands that he could not trust people. She understands that he's been hurt. However, to hear him say that to her, to think that she would do that to him, it hurt her badly. Her mother wanted to speak to her, but she just wanted to be alone with her thoughts. She didn't want to see or hear from anyone now. She just wanted to be alone. As she curled up in her bed, she couldn't believe that he would ever think that she would do something like that. Out of anyone else, she who was always stood by his side despite the way he acted or the way he talked. How dare he, she thought to herself. She felt something as she turned to see water under her door. Slowly but surely the water formed into... She glared at him. What are you doing here? She said. As Naruto stood there, free from his cell. By his own doing, of course. He doubted there was anything in this world that could hold him for too long. And that was just too simple. Maybe the leader knew that he would not attack or do anything that would cause trouble. Because of her, that is why. He did not put so much security on him, but there was enough. But it was easy for him to escape. His abilities, his quirks. He had too many to not simply escape quickly. He stepped forward towards her. As he spread his arms, she looked at him confused. "What are you waiting for? Go ahead," said Naruto. "What? I hurt you. So hurt me back," said Naruto. "I can take it." "Why would I do that?" she asks. "Because I hurt you. And you think by hurting you back, it will make me feel alright." He did not speak. "You really think that, don't you?" she said. As Naruto nodded his head once, she sighed. "I'm angry at you, yes, and I'm hurt as well. Because out of everyone else in this world, you think, after everything we've been through, I would do something like that. Why would you think that?" Naruto looked away. Before he snapped his gaze back towards her, there was an unreadable expression on his face. "What do you want from me?" he said to her. "What do I want?" she asked. "Yes," Naruto said, raising his tone. "What do you want? You want to be my friend? Why? I'm not exactly a good person. I've done nothing to show that I even deserve your friendship." "You think you don't deserve my friendship? Why?" "Because I don't deserve any," said Naruto. "I failed, alright? Yes, I'm powerful now, yes. I can do things that I could only have dreamed of when I was younger, but I failed every single time. I only had 2 people in this world that I could call my friends, even family. But again and again, I watched them die. I failed to save them every time. What's the point of being great if you have nothing and no one? So tell me, why do I deserve anything more? Why do I even deserve to live? Why do I deserve anything?" he said. "It's not like I protected or saved anyone. It's not like I kept them alive after everything we've been through. And now I'm alone, broken and miserable, clinging on to one goal. And after that, what? What would be my life purpose? Would it even matter for me existing after that? Yes, the world will be better, but what about me? I'll have nothing and no one. So tell me why. Why do you keep on mingling yourself with me? Why do you try to be my friend? Why? Because I don't deserve it. So it's best if you just leave," said Naruto. "Or better yet, I should," as he turned. However, arms wrapped around his waist as Naruto turned her embrace. "Let me go," he said. "No," she said as she placed her head on his chest. "I'll never let you go." She simply held on to him. With all the strength that he had, somehow he could not budge her, because he was not trying. She felt him relax as she held on to him. She knew that he was broken. She had tried to fully help him in the past, but they had never interacted like this. She felt his body trembling. She felt all the pain, but yet there was no tears that left his eyes. Strangely enough, the tears never came. His pain was experienced other ways. She could feel it, his emotions, as she grabbed onto them to make him know that he was not alone. They stood like that for what seemed to be hours, but yet it was just minutes in reality. As she finally broke and looked up to his face, there was no anger, no sadness, just confusion as he looked at her. She looked back at him. There was no words that were spoken between them as their face drew closer and closer together until their lips met. Yes, and there was just feeling, this undescribable feeling that neither of them had ever felt. A feeling of completion, a feeling of whole, a circle finally being filled. A bond that was built, holding with an unbreakable force that could never be broken down, even with the passing of time. As they stayed like that for a long while until They had to pull back, looking at one another. A blush came on her face. Was it good? She asked. Naruto blinked. What? Well, that was my... She looked away. First kiss. So, was it good? He did not respond as she thought that it might be bad, until she looked up and saw that he was also blushing. I've never... Also... He stuttered, for the first time. So how do you... She smiled as she took his hand, as she led him towards her bed as they sat at the edge. Look, she said. I know it's hard. Everything that you've been going through. I know what you've done. I saw the reports. I heard rumors. As Naruto looked away, she forced him to look back at her. We as people are not good. Sense of morality is always blind. If we are ordered to kill, we kill. If we are ordered to destroy, we destroy. However, I felt it in your heart, what you truly desire. The pain and suffering that you went through. You never want that to be placed on anyone else that is put in a situation like yours. I know that you had to do bad things to get this way. But, in spite of all of that, I would never betray you. And I physically can't leave you alone, she said. It seemed to go beyond any fiber inside of me to just let you be. When I thought that you died, I felt a part of me vanish. I was depressed, sad, haunted that I would never see you in my dreams ever again. And I didn't know what to do. She placed a hand to his cheek. But now you're back. And here. And I don't want to lose you, she said. As Naruto took her hand that was on his face. And I don't want to lose you either, he said. Which made her smile. As they just looked at one another. I think we can help each other, she said. Yes, my father is the leader of the Akatsuki, but they also have a goal. My father wished to bring peace to this world. All you need to do is to talk to him, she said. So you don't have to go away. As Naruto sat there, I know it's hard, she said, for you to trust people, even if this person is related to me. Remember, I know you, she said. So take your time. You do have it, she said to him. You don't have to run. You can relax, calm your mind, and pick what your heart truly desires. She finished off with another smile. As she yawned, she covered her mouth. Her yawn was so cute. She looked at him. It was pretty late. Do you, want to sleep together? She asked. Naruto face turned red. No, not like that, she said. I mean, it's pretty late. If you want to, I can take the floor, said Naruto. Don't be silly, she said. We can sleep right here. Are you sure? Naruto asked. She nodded her head. As Naruto felt strange, feelings that he's never felt before. However, he did lie down right beside her. They weren't going to do anything but just lie down. Konan was outside. Yes, she was there, listening. She had to make sure her daughter was safe and protected. Nagato finally arrived down. He did not look happy in the slightest. Before that though, he looked towards her. Is she? He's in there, Konan said. What? As Nagato stepped forward only for her to stop him. What are you doing? It's alright. What do you mean it's alright? He's not supposed to... Listen, she said, taking his hand. This is a lot more deeper than we thought. As she guided him away. Unknown to her, Nagato just had a conversation with the masked man. Nagato had refused to hand Naruto over. Not that he could just hand Naruto over, but the masked man wanted to employ his own sense of interrogation. But Nagato refused, believing that he could get Naruto on his side, but The masked man believing that he would fail. He would lose control of the boy, and they would lose the only chance that they had. And the both of them were in disagreement. No fists were drawn, no punch were blowed. However, there was a tense disagreement between them. The masked man was not used to people denying him what he seek, and he was upset about it. Extremely. Meanwhile, Naruto could not sleep. Even as she rested a hand on his chest, and she was sleeping, she made this little baby snoring that tugged at his heartstrings. He's never wanted to trust anyone. He never wanted to rely on anyone. And the thing was, after he got what he got, he was gonna end it all. Yes, even though he would be godlike, he was going to find a way to just end it all. However, now, the thought of leaving her made his heart tremble a bit. And he didn't like that. Love was weakness. Having connections, they were weakness. But yet, in the face of all of that, her image knocked that away. As Naruto lay there, he was actually becoming a bit tired. It felt like mental exhaustion. Maybe he could just close his eyes for a few moments and relax. He trusts her. He might not trust many, but he did trust her. The problem was, Naruto felt something off. His eyes were closed, he was relaxed, but something was wrong. And he was right. The moment Naruto opened his eyes, a hand grabbed his throat. He let his guard down, and now a hand was placed around his throat. As Naruto looked up to see an orange mask holding him in place, his movement caused Misaka to wake up. What's... Before she could say anything, Naruto was sucked away. Naruto, she yelled, jumping to stop this person until she fell right through him, collapsing on the floor. He looked towards her. Without a word, he vanished. Despite Konan talking to Nagato, and despite everything that she believed herself, they still had to be cautious, so the moment the noise was heard, they quickly arrived to the room. "What's going on?" said Nagato, bursting in. "It's Naruto. He was taken." "What? By who?" A far distance away, Naruto felt himself pulled and dragged and dumped out in a strange area. Before he could move, two strange weapons tear right through his guts, tearing through him as they stabbed into the ground behind him. They were almost like wires, but yet they had this energy coursing through them. Strange items wrapped around his wrists as they pulled his hand into the earth, fusing it inside. So did his legs. Something clamped around his neck. As it started to glow, he was captured. That is when the man arrived in front of him, his orange mask on his face. Naruto noticed that they were not alone. Several white creatures were around the area, including one black one as well, fused with another white one. "Who are you?" said Naruto. "Name is not important, but you can just call me Toby for the time being." "Well then, Toby," said Naruto, "I'm gonna kill you. Doesn't matter your reason or whatnot. For merely harming me, I'm gonna snap your neck." As Toby chuckled, "As violent as I thought," he said. "However, we're not here for me, and don't bother trying to escape. You might be able to break or even escape suppressing abilities from those cuffs. However, that is running through you is quadruple the amount, and it's also affecting your insides. So none of your quirks will be able to activate. And in the state that you're in, you might be strong, but those metals and chains are also strong, immensely so. So you're trapped. What I want to know is, where is the other tail beasts? They are with you, but you're not a Jinchuriki. So exactly how are they with you?" Naruto raised the eyebrow. And who told you that? Well, the leader that you spoke to. So you're with the Akatsuki, huh? My apologies for not wearing the cloak, Toby said. I was busy somewhere else. So yes, you've been betrayed. Nah, you're lying, said Naruto. What? I said you're lying. Nagato, as much as he might be leader of this organization, he loves his daughter. And he wants me to open up so that he can learn to trust me or for me to do him. I figure that he wants me a part of this little group of his to learn my purpose. He didn't want to kill me, but you on the other hand. It seems like you're, how can I say it? Well, you're maybe second best. So you're co-leader of the organization, if I had to say. However, he has more power and pull than you. So you decide to take matters in your own hands. Am I right? Smarter than I thought. I thought that you were just a strong, powerful buffoon. Well, I was always a smart child, said Naruto. So what now? Betraying your own organization. That was a really dumb idea for something you will never achieve. Because let me tell you, I've been tortured. Immensely so. And there's nothing that you can do to actually force me to spill anything. Though I am surprised that these things are strong enough to pierce me. And this metal is strong enough to hold me a bit. You must have been planning to hold something far more dangerous. But you should know, I am even worse. As the masked man was silent, he walked around Naruto, looking at him. Just being quiet. What if I tell you I can give you everything that you desired, and more? What? Said Naruto. My goal is far different from what yours and anyone else is. With the power of each of the tail beasts, I will be able to let everyone live out their greatest life. And I can do the same for you. What are you talking about? Said Naruto. It's quite simple, you see. I can give you the life that you desired. A life where you have them back. Ayo and Ami. How do you... I know a lot about you, Mr. Namikaze. What if I told you I can give you a life where they never died? A life where you're continuously happy. A life where you have better family. People that love and care for you. How about that? He asks. And how would you give me that life? With the power of the tail beasts, that life is possible. However, I will need the power to do so. Help me, and I can give you everything that you ever desired, and more. As Naruto looked at him, do you have the power to return them back from the dead? No, it's not like that, he said. So what is it? Some sort of illusion. It's better and everlasting. Naruto spat in disgust. So you want to put me in some sort of illusion, to live out some sort of fantasy that you think I miss. Let me tell you something. I would rather not have them than live into some make-believe world where everything is fake. Yes, I do miss them every single day. I do wish I had a better life, but those things are in the past, and I can't have them. And I've moved on. And you should too, said Naruto. Well, I guess there's no point of you moving on because I'm gonna kill you very soon. You would deny everything I've offered you, even though it would give you everything that you always wanted. Yeah, I would. Why? I don't understand. Because if it's not the real thing, it's not worth it. That's my ideology. And those who have already died should remain dead. You might not like it, but they've passed on. And I know that they're somewhere a lot better than this place. And they're truly happy because I know them. So yes, they should be allowed to rest in peace. As for you, the groans start to crack. The masked man stepped back. How are you doing this? Said Naruto. Like I said before, I am worse. Naruto ripped his arms out of the earth. He pulled his head as a chain snapped. He gripped on and tore the things out of his stomach. As he got to his feet, breaking every restrictions on him. How did you? You think my quirk is what makes me strong? No, it's not. It's my willpower to never give up, to never fall, to never lose, to never die. You might think that you were dealing with some sort of human, but I no longer consider myself as such. And I'm gonna kill you. In an instant, the wall behind the masked man was gone, as Naruto's fist had destroyed it, because Naruto had passed right through him. You might be fast and strong, all around powerful and untouchable, but you can't touch me either. Naruto blasts a hole right through his head. However, it went right through his laser beams, destroying the wall behind him. As Naruto walked in a circle. Fine then, the masked man said. If you won't give me what I desire, I will simply find it within your body. You think you can put me down? Said Naruto. As the masked man did not reply, instead, a wormhole opened up in front of him. As he did so, he raised his hand in a gesture and a fireball exploded out of it. Naruto leaped up in the sky. He was not sure what his quirk was. However, he seemed to be able to open distortion in mid-air. And he can also become intangible. And that fireball did not just come from anywhere. Another wormhole opened to Naruto's left. A massive pillar of earth shot out. Naruto slammed his hand on top of it. It exploded into pieces. The ground under him distorted as lava exploded out. As Naruto was already gone from the scene. Wind then came down with a high pressure, followed by water. As Naruto was being attacked from all over, the masked man stood there, controlling all of this with his strange quirk. However, Naruto was unaffected by it. He then proceeded to smile, confusing the masked man. Do you find something funny? Yes, I do, said Naruto. The masked man was confused by that notion. As Naruto shot forward with speed that was just dazzling, he pushed his hand through the man's stomach. But his hand phased right through him like nothing. The masked man saw his opportunity as he phased off Naruto's hand, now having him in his grasp. A wormhole opened behind Naruto. The masked man had opened one right to his left. As he pushed the kunai inside, it was about to stab Naruto in the back. That was until Naruto shot his beams forward into the wormhole. The masked man was confused because he would not come back through the other side. Did he really think that he had? A scream of pain came from him as he was thrown away. His clothing torn, his side bleeding. The masked man collapsed on the ground, shocked. He couldn't understand what just happened. What? That's not possible. Naruto leaped towards him and smashed his fist into the ground. The masked man had jumped away as Naruto destroyed the area with a punch. The masked man got up holding his bleeding side. How did you do it? How did you hit me? He yelled in frustration and anger. Your quirk. It's rather easy to figure out, said Naruto. After you kept on tossing those abilities at me, I realized that your space that you have is connected. You have these domains that you have different power or attack stored in. A rather nifty trick. It also allows you to transport your body to these domains. The problem is, they're all connected. So once I was able to figure that out, a nifty little quirk of mine that helped me identify any source of people or any human biology in the room, I spread it through your little vortex. And I knew that your body was in there once. I punched right through you. So my beam then did the trick, following that source right to your main body. It's just a shame that it did not tear through your skull. Your dimension is lopsided, warping my beam. But it doesn't matter, said Naruto as he slammed his fist into his palm. His whole body was enlightened with a golden glow as he pushed himself. The whole area shook and violently got destroyed just by him exerting his power. I'll kill you now, said Naruto. A green glow escaped out of his body and surrounded the area. The masked man started to panic. Having the boy figure out his quirk and being fast enough to do something about it did not fit. Nagato was not listening. Things were not going as he planned. And he had to make a move soon. He thought that, perhaps, if he had the boy, but now... Damn it, he cursed in his mind. He had no choice. He had to get out of here. He was not even healing as he should. The boy's abilities were becoming too strong. However, something was wrong. As Naruto smirked, What did you do? The masked man asked. A nifty trick, isn't it? Said Naruto. As he held out his hand, a green ball appeared in his palm, completely see-through. This quirk allowed me to stabilize the area with the molecules that are inside of it. As Naruto held up his other fist where the blood of the masked man was on. The moment you bled, the moment I got your DNA, I was able to trap it inside. Your domains are still fine because I can't trap those, but I can trap you from leaving through any of them. The ear itself is fighting against your molecules from shifting into any of your domains. That means I can't leave, the masked man said. Exactly, said Naruto. I told you when you kidnapped me, I was gonna kill you. And that wasn't a threat. It was what that was gonna happen. In your ideal mind, you thought that I was just some buffoon who was just powerful, but you have no idea who I am, what I am. You have no idea how much power I truly contain, said Naruto, his very words shaking the atmosphere. He then moved at speeds that the man could not even follow. It's over. But guys, it'll be instance right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so you posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Yes, I do have 4 of them, guys. A new one now, Anime Symbol, guys. Go ahead and check out the video under this to understand what is going on. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this. What am I saying? Let's get the hell out of here. Peace, guys.